the most wonderful real estate podcast ever. The show that gives you the lowdown on how to become a successful real estate entrepreneur. With more than 30 years of experience, America's top female real estate investor Dwan is an expert in financial freedom and turning dreams into realities. Now's your chance to become a Dwandernaire with the help of Dwan. Here's to a flaming hot foreclosure market with the help of Dwan. Cheers.
Hey everybody, welcome to another exciting episode of the most wonderful real estate podcast ever. So I'm your host, Dwan Twyford. I'm America's most sought after real estate investor, and it is Thursday. So on Thursdays, we bring our episodes called Inside the Minds of Today's Millionaires. And we talk to people from all over the place and all over the planet and all kinds of walks of life. And we just find out what they're doing. And maybe something they say today can help you unleash something that's maybe been holding you back from taking that step forward and becoming and having the financial freedom that you want. Our motto at Dwanderful is people before profits. So if that resonates with you, you are at the right place and this is the right time. And I'm super excited about my guest today. She is from Australia. Like, how exciting is that? So I have Alicia Jarrett. How are you today?
I'm wonderful. Thank you, Dwan. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for coming on all the way from Australia.
Thank you. And it's funny because I always laugh when I do these things because technically I'm calling from the future. And I can tell you the future's looking pretty bright.
That's right. You are technically. Yes, because it's Tuesday there, right?
It is. It's Tuesday morning, very early in the morning, and I can't wait to get into our conversation.
Oh, I'm so excited. That's right. So between now and the morning, like the world doesn't blow up or anything?
Nope. You're all in good hands.
I love it. All right, so we start off. We have drinks with Dwan. So I'm going to have some tea.
I'm also having tea because
so
we're very big tea drinkers. Cheers.
Cheers, and thank you for being on the show. Love me some tea. And everybody just take a deep breath. Sit out for a minute. Just clear up your mind, shake off all your stuff, and just plan on having fun and talking and listening to us today. And we're going to have a super fun show. So again, thank you for coming on. So what I like to do, to kind of just throw you straight up into the deep end. So I like you to tell us your name in a short summary of what you do, because I got a million questions, and how we can get a hold of you. And I'm going to ask you a ton of questions because we would like to know, Alicia, what's your deal?
All righty. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
So first of all, my name is Alicia Jarrett. Nobody ever gets that right.
Alicia.
So most people
that.
Just call me AJ. It's much easier. So yes, we are based. I say we, myself and my partner Matthew. We've been real estate investors in the US for over 5 years now, and we are based in Melbourne, Australia. So we are actually investing from the other side of the world. So what I love about that is often in this real estate space, you get people that are like, oh, I couldn't really invest in a different state to where I live and couldn't invest in the other side of the country. We're doing this with a 14-hour time difference. And if we can do it, anyone can do it. So a little bit about our business. We started Dwan, as I mentioned, about 5 years ago. We were doing houses. We did some fix and flips in Florida. We're talking before about your house in Florida. And we absolutely loved that. That was loads of fun, but single family houses can be quite stressful, especially when
things. A bunch of questions. Let's hang on to that. And let me come back. So tell people how to get a hold of you.
Sure. So they can get a hold of me on superchargedoffers.com, or they can go direct on email to Alicia, and that is spelled Alicia at superchargedoffers.com. Or they can call my team on 888-538-5478.
Awesome. I like to have your contact information in the show notes a couple different times. So I'm going to have you give it out again. So I love already the first thing that you said right out of the gate is you said, oh, people think they can't invest in another state, and you guys are investing from the other side of the world.
Yeah, correct.
I tell people all the time, it's like you do not have to do deals in your backyard. You have to treat, if you would treat every homeowner or client as if they lived out of state, you would save so much time from driving around, looking at houses, going and meeting with people, treat them like they live in a different state. You wouldn't drive to another state, or you wouldn't come across around the world to look at a house.
Correct. Yeah. We did for the first couple of houses because we were new to the business. We wanted to really understand the lay of the land, the types of houses, putting a contract team in place. But once you've kind of got the wheels in motion and you know what you're doing, you really do not need to be anywhere near your properties. There's so many services and people and things out there that can do that boots on the ground stuff for you.
Oh, amen, sister. You are preaching to the choir right now. I agree so much with you. And I'm going to tell people, like, listen, my friend Alicia, and I'm so sorry I called you Alicia. It's Alicia.
That's okay.
My name
of my
is
life.
Dwan, and people call me Dawn all the time. And I hate when people mispronounce my name. It's like, listen,
Yeah.
it's Dwan, but Dwan's super unusual. So they think I misspelled it. And I was like, not a typo on my end.
Yeah. Bless us for having names that nobody else gets.
I told my parents, it's like, why would you name me Dwan? Like, what kind of a name is that? But I like it as an adult. I like it as an adult though, because now I can just call and say, hey, this is Dwan, and nobody has to go, Dwan who? And my husband's name is Bill.
Exactly.
He calls and goes, this is Bill. They're like, Bill? He's like, Twyford. And I'm like, well, the good thing is I can just go by like a name, like Madonna, like Cher. I can just go by like.
I love it. And you own it, sister. You own it.
I'm just Dwan. So I do like that now. But oh my gosh, when I was younger, I hated having such a different name than everybody. All right. So you guys invest literally across the world. So
we do.
What is it that, so I do, that's why I said, no, don't tell us too much, because I have a whole bunch of questions. So what is it that you guys do?
Okay, so as I mentioned, we started with houses, but after a little while, we saw an opportunity to get into the asset class of vacant land. So we buy and sell vacant land. We might buy and hold, we might buy and develop, we might flip it straight into the retail market and fix any issues from the landowners. I love that you said in the beginning, actually, people before profits, because a lot of the people that we're working with that own vacant land, they've got loads of issues with it. They've got back taxes, they've got liens, they've got probates they need done, and they don't know where to start with a lot of this. So the fact that we can help them and offer a service to alleviate them of those problem properties, I'm really proud of some of the people and situations that we've been able to help there. So we deal in vacant land, but secondary to that, we've also got a real estate marketing business, because very early on in the piece, Dwan, we saw that there was, I guess, a huge gap in the market between real estate education and real estate investing. And what I mean by that is a lot of real estate investors, where we all got our stripes is that we went along to some kind of real estate education program. Most of us did that as the basing point. And a lot of real estate educators out there, and I know quite a few of them, they're all awesome, but they're teaching you how to do a deal. What they're not teaching you is how to run a business. And so when we really started ourselves, we were just noticing so many gaps in our entire acquisition model of how we were going to market, how we were using data, how we were finding deals, all of that. So we then started our own marketing acquisition systems, and that's turned into its own business as well. So
I bet it has.
And separate to that, we've got a data business. So we've got a couple of businesses now in the US and a team of about 19 in total. And we just keep going from strength to strength. So we're super excited about this year and what's coming.
Oh my gosh, I bet you are. Now tell me how old you are.
I am 46, turning 47 this year. Thank you, girl.
Smoking, girl.
And might I add, for people watching, it's just gone 6 a.m. in the morning. So like trying to put the best face on.
Oh my God, 6 in the morning. I'm such a hot mess. The funny thing is, like, my hair, everything is very bright, but my eyebrows are just so blonde, and my eyelashes are so blonde. They're super thick. Like, they're super thick, They're so blonde. So if I don't have any makeup on, my eyes just like, you can't even see them.
Same, same. That's why I got these puppies on, because they help to brighten up my face a little.
I've got an eyeliner, I've got eyebrows, I had to do all this stuff. Otherwise, you see my pictures, it's like, well, there's the pink hair, and then where's her face at? So at 6 in the morning, I don't know, I'm still snoozing pretty solid at that point. So, well, that's the, so I love the fact. Now, why did you guys decide vacant land? That is interesting.
Yeah, as I said, well, I guess because we'd done some houses and we loved working with single family homes and fixing them up and flipping them and finding families to put in
Yeah.
them. We absolutely love that. But when you've had a couple of houses go wrong, it's pretty stressful. And when we came across vacant land, it had all of the almost the tick the boxes of, well, there's no tenants, there's no termites. If there is trash, it's pretty easy to get it removed. There's no toilets that get blocked. You know, we get told in that about the 4Ts, but equally vacant land is such an untapped resource as well. A lot of people drive past vacant land and don't even think about it. Yet when they're driving past houses, they're like, well, that's a good house to fix and flip. That's a good one to demolish and put up a fourplex. But vacant land, people don't often see the opportunity.
No, they
But
don't.
when you do drive past vacant land, you know, maybe just pause and think, what could be built there? What if that was to be rezoned? What if we could split that into two properties and put two affordable homes on there for families to live in? So there's lots of opportunity with vacant land, a lot more than what people would realize. And there's also a lot more strategies with vacant land that you can use for your business. So we started with a couple of lots in vacant land and really saw the benefit of a couple of things, helping people to let go of vacant land that maybe they had plans for. But
Yep.
I've got two screens here. I'll make sure I look at you over here. But make sure that they can get rid of a problem property. Maybe
Yep.
they bought it to build a house on and things have happened and they can no longer do that. Maybe there's been a death in the family and the surviving spouse doesn't want it. Maybe they're behind on back taxes. They're about to lose the property altogether. So if we can go in and help fix those problems, we can also, on the flip side, find people to buy these properties. Now, I'd say 90% of our buyers are actually people that want to get back into the property market. They want to build their dream house, but you know, they can't afford a traditional loan for land and things like that. So we can get them back in by doing seller financing with them, allowing them to pay it off over time whilst they save up for their house. A whole range of different things that we can do. So vacant land is pretty cool. We love it.
It's funny. I love vacant land. I mean, we have bought so many things on vacant land, put storage units and just all kinds of things. But I think, I mean, of 90% of the investors I know, you're one of the very few that specializes in vacant land, and you do it from another country.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Now, when you bought
We
your
do.
very first, like say your first 5 deals, what state did you buy in?
Florida. We do all of our business in Florida. It's the
Oh,
state
good.
that just keeps on giving. And I
It
think
is.
the main reason why we haven't gone out of Florida yet, Dwan, is we've got our boots on the ground team there. So one of the things that enables us to do business from the other side of the world is our team. We do
Yes.
have team members all over the world, but we've got a really good, fantastic realtor on our team, a couple of title companies on our team that are all based in Florida, probate attorney, real estate attorney. They're all local. And so when it comes time to fixing some of those issues or closing on properties, doing a double close or setting up a
Oh,
finance deal, we've got our people on the ground that can help us. And Florida, we just know Florida so well now that we haven't really needed to go outside of Florida. However, in our marketing company, we've got land investors, house investors, multifamily investors. We've got people that do deals all over the country. So I get to see what other people are doing and the results that they have. And it's super exciting, but we love Florida.
I know. Well, listen, I've got a house in Florida, so next time you guys come, you come stay with me. We're on
That
the
sounds
lake,
wonderful.
we're off on the beach. We'll go paddle boarding. We'll go on the kayak. Be fun.
Oh, fabulous.
It's so great. So whereabouts? Are you like South Florida, Middle Florida?
Mainly northeast. We actually started our houses in Jacksonville in Duval County. And we've kind of just spread out from there. But now we do deals all over Florida,
All over.
except for Miami. Miami County gets a little expensive for land. But we focus a lot on northeast, not so much the Panhandle, but northeast,
Yep.
and then over into the west, over into Hillsborough County over there. So
No,
yeah.
I love that. It's so funny because like I know every county you're talking about because I lived in Florida. Well, I've been married for 20 years. So I moved to Florida right after high school. So I was 19, moved by myself. I said, I'm moving out of Ohio. The weather's too cold. I hate the cold. I'm never living in the cold weather again. Moved to Florida. So I live in Florida all this time till I'm 42. Me and my husband, and he lives in Colorado. I'm like, now listen, the only way this is going to work is we can have a house in Florida and a house in Colorado because I left Ohio because I don't know if you know each state, but Ohio
I
was that
do.
really cold Midwest, like bone chilling.
Yeah.
Never living back in the cold. So if we can have two houses and we can live in the mountains, have a house at the beach, I'm good.
Perfect.
So at this point,
Perfect mix.
exactly. So at this point, I've been in Florida for like 45 years or something like that. And I worked only in the state of Florida for my first, let's say I've been doing investing 30 years. I've been married to Bill for 20. So for like 15 years, I did only all my deals just in Florida.
Yeah.
So I lived there and it was easy and I was rehabbing quite a bit. So it was right there. But now it's like you and I said earlier, at the beginning, it's like people think they have to invest just in their backyard. But now we do deals in Iowa and Texas and Ohio and Florida and anywhere a deal comes up, we're like, I don't care where it's at. I'll find somebody to work with me on that deal.
Yep, so absolutely. And what I also love about doing vacant land is that the community of investors in vacant land is fantastic. What I found when we were doing houses, Dwan, is that people get quite protective about their contract team, the space that they're doing business in, their networks. Like, everyone got a little bit protective of, oh no, I don't want you to know my secrets. Vacant land, we've done joint venture deals with other land investors. We've assigned contracts between ourselves when someone else I've actually got a land investing motivation mastermind group. That's what it's called. If anyone's on Facebook doing vacant land, go to the land investing motivation mastermind. Land investing motivation mastermind. And the reason why we've called it a motivation mastermind is the focus of the group. It's got over 1,000 people in it, but once a month we get together and do a call. What the group is really intended to do, Dwan, is help people to overcome the challenges that come up, because we see it time and time again as real estate investors. Sometimes deals are super easy. Things just seem to happen and they're wonderful. But often the challenging deals are the things that put people, in their stop people in their tracks is probably the best way to put it. Because people go, oh, that's too hard. I don't know what to do. So they walk away from the deal. And it's like, well, no, sometimes just leaning into your networks and getting some ideas, you can often get these problems solved. So I've got a group that we collaborate on, and in that group we've done deals together, we've assigned contracts, you name it, we've done it, which is wonderful.
Well, I love the fact that you're up in Jacksonville. I have one of my most successful students. He's been working with us for over 20 years. His very first year in the business, he made 1.4 million net after all of his expenses. So we've been working with Gary for 20 straight years, and he is in the Tampa area. He just expanded his business over into Jacksonville. So I'm going to hook you guys up after the call because
please do.
Is a monster. He's done thousands of deals in the last 20 years, and he can find stuff, flip stuff, just anything. He's a monster. So I'm going to hook you up with Gary.
That'd be great. Thanks, Dwan.
As soon as you said that, I was like, oh my God, they have to know Gary Prescott. That's so exciting. So, it's funny, way back, so I've been doing investing for 30 years. And my very first house, I rehabbed it. But I didn't know what I was doing because it was so long ago. There were no seminars. There were no RIA groups. There were no meetings. There was no traveling around. There was none of that. So I literally was seat of my pants and made so many mistakes. When you said, we don't have to buy houses full of termites and this and that, I started laughing because one of maybe my fifth rehab, I did go look at the house and there are all these bugs flying around. I was like, I don't have to bomb this house. What is all these bugs? So I buy this house. Well, I did not realize what termites were. And this house had
those little bugs were a sign.
Oh my God. So many termites that even like the trusses in the roof, every single thing, the cabinets, everything was just eaten alive. I can't believe the house was standing, literally eaten alive by termites. And I was like, so that was one house I had, my mind was I was going to make like 40 grand on it. I ended up making like $2,500 because I thought, well, I'm going to rehab it. So I've got the experience and I can say I did it. But in hindsight, I should have just flipped that house with somebody and been done with it because termite damage is the worst. But you don't know. I didn't know. That's why
Pretty
I like to
bad.
teach people, like, listen, don't do this. So way back in South Florida, and I'm sure still all over Florida, they had all these auctions where you could buy vacant land from people that had not paid property taxes.
Mm-hmm.
And they would have all these auctions at the courthouse. And I went to those for like 6 months, like really trying to like get in. Like, I'm going to buy some vacant land. It's like super cheap. You pay the taxes. And I never could like get into like that. It was like a circle of people that bought everything. I
Yeah.
never could like break into the team, the boys club at that point. I never could like break through. So I was like, I'm just going to flip houses, work with homeowners directly. I'll loop back someday. And so way back, I did try to buy some vacant land at some of the tax sales because there's so much of it in Florida.
Yeah.
So much of it. So
there's so much of it everywhere. And again, it's,
everywhere.
There's so many different strategies that you can use to acquire the land, to sell the land. And I've really noticed even in the last 2 years, I think COVID has been awful for all of us, but what it has done is taught many more people on how to transact online. And we're now seeing some counties even come out with, you can do this online, you can do that online. So we're seeing like an easier way of doing business emerge as a result. And that's the same with buying and selling land. Like where you can buy and where you can sell is very much expanded over the short term, over the last year or so, which is super exciting.
It is exciting. Yeah, I see. I like that too because like Zoom calls, it allowed me to talk to someone like you that's around the world, and we would never be able to do that. If so, I love that. I love that so many things have gone to Zoom. I do love that. But I miss people. Like I miss like people as well. But my husband
we do too, and we're missing travel. Just to add up, just very quickly, because obviously,
I'm so missing traveling.
We're getting back. We actually got a vacation planned in 4 weeks. We head off for a vacation. But what's been interesting is we talk about doing deals from the other side of the world. We've done a deal on a yacht in Croatia, in the middle of the ocean, and we've done a deal on the ski fields in Italy and France. So it's like you can literally do deals anywhere as long as you have a phone and a laptop. You can do business.
Yep, phone and a laptop. So my husband and I started a really fun project a few years ago. He's from Iowa, and there's in Iowa, there's a lot of little towns on the river. And these are towns that used to be like really bustly and great and like little tourist destinations. And so the little town he's from, they're doing like this downtown rebeautification thing. And there's all kinds of grant money and there's all kinds of stuff. So we thought, that'd be fun. We should like buy a building and fix the building up and help, like bring this little downtown. So it's like a little cute, like shopping destination.
Gorgeous.
Get coffee and have some drinks and have some whatever. So in the last couple of years, and especially we had a lot of time in COVID, we bought 20 buildings.
20. Amazing.
So this little area is 3 blocks this way and 3 blocks this way. It's called an opportunity zone.
Yep.
And in that little area, we bought 20. So I was like, oh my God, we have lost our minds. But we had so much free time. So we kept looking and finding deals and calling the banks like, we'll take it. So now we've got a lot of work to do to get these buildings turned around. But there's so much stuff in Iowa too.
That's so exciting.
In Iowa, I'll let you know.
Yeah, I've got a huge network of sellers and buyers all across the US now, thanks to our marketing company. So there's loads of people. I often, as a result of what we do in some of the podcasts, I've actually had people reach out and go, I've got land in this state. Do you know someone? I'm like, yep, I do. Let me hook you up.
I love it. So I always like to have my guests give us like one actionable tip. So if someone is listening today, they're like, oh, I really like Alicia. I like what she has to say. Give like one tip for someone that's never bought land. Like what is a way or something that they could take a first step towards actually buying a piece of land?
Yeah. One tip. Oh, just one?
Oh, I know. But like
what am I going to give?
Something they could actually go, I could do this.
Cool. I think the first thing is to research your market. So, like any real estate investor, whether you're doing houses or land or anything, go and research your market. So go into Zillow's, the land.coms, Lands of America, Land and Farm, have a look at what people are buying, but also what people are selling. And typical to anything, always want to check, what's the days on market? Are properties kind of sitting there for a long time and not moving? Or is there lots of activity between sellers and buyers? So it's a relatively active market. You want to then go in, particularly if you are wanting to buy and sell properties, go into an active market so that you know that there's going to be movement happening there. When it comes to doing research on vacant land, a couple of the things that we look at, Dwan, as well, is things to do with the demographics of that area. So is there infrastructure going on in that area? Is there development happening? Is there investment from the county and state level going into that area so that you know that there's a pipeline of like opportunity that's about to happen? What's the unemployment rate like? What's the migration rate like? Have a look at all of those numbers. You can get everything online these days, and just make sure that it's not what I would call a dead zone.
Exactly.
So a dead zone is...
That's a great idea, not a dead zone.
Yeah, all of that. So start there so that you've got some level of information that you're making decisions based upon data. Not, hey, I think I want to go and invest in Illinois. That sounds wonderful. Let's just go. No, it might sound great, but go and do the numbers and the research and back up that assessment, if you like.
So if somebody was listening to us today and they had access to vacant land anywhere, they could just reach out to you and say, hey, I heard you talking to Dwan, and I've got some stuff like that. And you could go, hey, and you guys could take a look at it.
Absolutely, 100%.
And they would find you one more time. How do they find you?
They can go and look me up. I'm giving you the details for our marketing company. We've also got a separate one for our land company, but they can find me anywhere. So they can find me on Alicia, ALICIA, at superchargedoffers.com. That's one word. They can go on to
Supercharged office, right?
Correct. Supercharged offers, OFFERS.
I love it.
That's our marketing business, Supercharged Offers. I'll also just add, if they wanted to deal with me in my land business, so it's Alicia at ALICIA again at Land Scouts, one word, landscouts.com. They can send me the information there. I'll be more than happy to have myself and my team. We've got a full-time team that manages our land business. We can look at the deals. We can assess what's there, talk to our land owners about the problems that they might need help with. And if I'm not the right person to buy it, I certainly have loads of people in my network that I can link them up with.
I love it. So how long have you actually been investing in real estate?
So in the US for 5 years, but prior to that, my partner Matthew and I, we've both had investment properties here in Australia, but we decided to do the US and not Australia just purely because Australia is way too expensive. And we very much have different laws and ways of doing business over here that means that we can't do a lot of the strategies over here that we're doing in the US. So hence the US became our playground, and that's where we're playing.
Yeah, oh my gosh, I can't wait. Listen, when you come over to the US again next time, you and I are going to hang out. We're going to have some drinks.
Love it.
Talk about real estate investing. I love it. Okay, so I want to ask you just a couple of super random questions. What is your favorite band of all time?
Oh, that's a hard one.
It's so hard, right?
Favorite band of all time. I'm going to go artist, and this is because I was born in the 70s and grew up in the 80s. So for me, I absolutely loved Michael Jackson. And I also loved Wham.
Oh my God.
So, I'm going with all of the deceased artists here today, unfortunately, but Wham and Michael Jackson were always featured in my little cassette player that I had growing up. So,
yes.
And every time I hear any of their songs, whether it's an MJ song or a Wham song, I can still recall the moments of singing them and where I was and all of that. I was very fortunate that I got to see them both in concert before they left this world. I've got loads of others, but those two have just got a special place in my heart.
I have seen thousands of concerts, and I hate that I never saw Michael Jackson. So I'm 63. Magical. So Michael Jackson is the same age I am. So as a little girl, like 10,
hold the clock. You are 63?
I am 63.
You look phenomenal.
Well, I will take that compliment. So I used to get the Teen Beat magazines, and I had on my walls, I had Michael Jackson, and I had Donny Osmond, And I had the Jackson Five as the Osmond brothers and David Cassidy. And I was like, I'm going to marry all of them when I grow up. As a teen growing up, I wanted to marry Michael Jackson. He was the guy I was going to marry and spend the rest of
I just had the moves, didn't he?
Yes.
Had the moves.
So I was like 10 years old and I was already a Michael Jackson and Donny Osmond fan.
Love it.
Because that was like, they were my exact age, you know, and my whole wall was covered with posters. And I was just like to my dad, like, I'm going to marry, and David Cassidy, like, I'm going to marry all of them. Like, you can't marry them all. I'm like, well, I'm going to figure out a way to marry them all. Like, that's going to be my goal in life. I'm going to have like 5 husbands. And it's like, and they're all gone. It's like, oh my God. It's like, if I lose Donny Osmond, I don't know what I'll do.
I know.
He's like
gone too soon.
my last living, the Monkeys. It's like Davy Jones. It's like, oh, all my little kid crushes are gone. Michael Jackson is really good. I remember when he passed away, I watched that whole funeral. I cried like a baby for 2 weeks. I was
Same. Heartbreaking. Just heartbreaking. Gone too soon.
Golly. Okay, what is your favorite food?
Anything Asian. So I'm lucky enough that over here in Australia, and particularly here in Melbourne, we're extremely multicultural. And I think outside of Southeast Asia, where I've done lots of travel, we have the best Asian assortment of food here ever. So anything Thai, Japanese, basically, yeah, Thai and Japanese would be up there with the 2 favorites, but love anything that's got spicy flavors. And yeah, I mean, the thing with Asian food is it's often a combination of salty, sweet, and spicy.
Yeah.
And that just makes your mouth sing, right? So yeah.
I love it. I love Asian and I love Indian.
Yeah, and I also love really good Mexican. Mm.
Me too. So where is everybody sort of has like a place, like there's a place where in the world where you go and you're like, I'm in my place. This
Italy.
is the best place. This is my happy place. Where's your happy place?
Italy.
Ooh.
Every time I go to Italy, I've been to Italy a few times now, and every time I go, and I'm not European, but there's something that just kind of feels like home there for me. It's just like, it's the food, the culture, the people, the wine, the art, the scenery, the weather. It just sings to my senses, and I love it. So yes, we do have a plan at some stage, myself and my partner Matt. We're going to go and live in Italy for at least a year and work from there.
Okay, you're the only other person I've met who ever said that. I told my husband when we got married, I said, when we get older and our kids are raised, I want to go and live in Italy for a year. I just want to live there.
I'll see you over there.
Around. I just want to eat the food. Want to go into all the little towns. But at this point, I'm happy my parents are still alive, but they're in their later 80s. And I'm like, it's not I can just like take off at this point. So I told Bill, I said, after both my parents are gone, we are going to go live in Italy for a year. And we're just going to like be bums and Airbnb all over the country. I love it. And that's my
absolutely
same goal.
adore it.
I've had that same goal. We've been married.
You and I should have met years ago. I feel like I've got some kind of kindred sister going on here.
I told him 20 years ago, I said, I'm just telling you right now, I don't care how many kids and grandkids we have. We're moving to Italy for 1 year, but I'm going to wait until my parents. And, we had kids and we had the whole thing. Now we got all these grandbabies. It's like, I thought, they can just come visit me.
But here's the thing, right? We live in a world now, and now that the world's starting to reopen and people are traveling again, you can go over there, and if you needed to pop home and see family for a week or two, you can. So,
I'll tell you, when I decide not to go and you're ready to go for a year, you call me. I will go be your Italy partner for a year.
Okay, done.
That has been one of my goals for 20 years because there's something about it. You're right. There's something about it. It just feels like, I just want to live here.
It just sings to my soul, and I've done a lot of Europe, but Italy's the only place that I've just like, wow, there's something here that just feels like me.
Same. And I've been all over Europe too, and it's just like there. So the first time I stepped foot in Italy, I was just like, okay, I don't know what it is. This is my soul town.
Right? Yeah.
That's so funny. Okay, so now I have this game I play with people. So when my daughter was little, I was a single mom and she was 8 months old. And so I raised her by myself, started real estate investing, and I was living in Florida and my parents were in Ohio. So we did a lot of road trips. It's, drive, and when you're young, it's like 20 hours. You just like drive the whole way. And so we road tripped a lot. Since she was little, I couldn't afford to like buy plane tickets and things like that. So we used to play this game we made up called Which Would You Rather? And we would literally do this for 20 hours out and 20 hours back, all the way
I love
she was a full teenager. So we're going to play Which Would You Rather? So I'm going to give you two like really awful choices, but you still have to pick one.
Oh, okay. Fire away. What have you got for me?
So, which would you rather? Would you rather be tossed into a big vat full of spiders or a big vat full of snakes?
Oh, is that my choices?
Yes.
Oh, are the snakes venomous?
Nothing's going to kill you.
Oh, snakes?
Ooh, right? And that's my answer too. It's like, And the reason I like to ask, thank you for answering that. The reason I like to ask that question is I always tell people, I said, listen, when you're going in your life and you have these opportunities to keep working for another person and work for yourself, you have all these choices. Sometimes you have two choices and neither one really seems like a good choice, but one's always better than the other one.
Yeah.
Both of those are terrible. So I'd be like, I'll choose death.
And to add to that, one of the reasons why we've found success, and I'm sure you have too, is it's in those moments where you've got to make the tough decisions, and the decisions that you don't love that are actually the things that make you go further.
That's why I like to ask these questions, because they're always super funny. And I'm like, if I'm standing over a vat of snakes and spiders, and if I can't choose death as one option, I'm going into the snakes.
Yep. As long as they're not venomous, like whatever.
I can't imagine a spider crawling on my nose. I think my heart would stop.
And it's funny that you had to ask me that, because I live in a country where we've got the most amount of venomous snakes and spiders ever in the world.
You guys have those spiders that are like this big.
Yeah, we do.
Oh my God. The first time I saw one of those, I was like, oh my God, my heart would stop. But I just think it's fun to do that, because sometimes we are faced with choices and they're not really either one that we want, but there's still always a better one.
Correct.
And always taking the one that moves you forward, no matter how scary it is. Because on the other side of that snake pit could be, thousands of acres of vacant land that you had needed to get to, but you had an obstacle, and too many people let the obstacle stop them. Correct.
Yep. 100%, Vaughn.
Thank you. I know no one's ever asked you that on a podcast before.
No.
You're such a good sport. Okay, couple last things. At the end of all of our shows, I like the guests. I talked to you earlier about the 5 equities of life.
Yep.
And I feel like I just know for myself personally, when I first started investing and working for myself, I was really focused on money, and my life became like too lopsided. I did not have really enough balance in my life. So I have the 5 equities of life. So my regular listeners know it's financial, spiritual, physical, mental, and family. So I like my guests to choose one category and give us a simple assignment that we can do for a week. And then I ask people like, hey, if you like this assignment and this was fun for you, keep doing it. And if it doesn't, at least for that 1 week, you did something different besides your same old, same old. Yeah. So which life equity do you want to give us, and what is our assignment this week?
I'm going to go physical. Because like most entrepreneurs, we can spend way too much time sitting at our computers and not getting out and enjoying the world. And here's what, as human beings, we need things like fresh air and sunshine and water. We're like a plant. We need to have all those things in order to grow. And when we look after ourselves physically, we also tend to find that leads into the mental, the family, the connecting with others. So what I like to do at least once a week, like I do get out and exercise regularly, but once a week I like to do that with someone, so that you're also providing an opportunity for connection. And so once a week, your assignment is find a friend or family member and do just a 30-minute walk together.
I like it. Yeah, I do like that. And you're right. It's you, even as an investor, you can spend so much time on your computer and looking at houses and analyzing. And next thing you know, you're like, oh my gosh, it's like 5 o'clock. I didn't stand up all day.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so easy. So I love that. So physical, we're going to go for a walk once a week with a friend.
Yep.
I love that too. Okay. So I like
the other reason why I added with a friend is we can often, as entrepreneurs, so especially when we're working remotely, we can end up very insular. where it's just about our world and what's going on in our world. So my caveat to that is, on that walk, don't talk business.
Oh, yeah.
Just be with someone. Just connect. Go and enjoy nature. Go and enjoy some sunshine, or even on a rainy day, it can still be fun. Just go and connect. Connect with self, connect with others, connect with the surroundings around you.
I love it. All right, so I took a lot of notes. So I'm gonna do a quick review. I'm gonna see if we were able to get just a tiny little bit inside the mind of today's millionaire. So we have Alicia Jarrett, and you can find her at Alicia at superchargedoffice.com.
Offers, yep.
Is that right?
Yep, OFFERS. I'll put it in the chat here for you.
What is it? Oh, offer?
Yep, here you go. There you go. If you see that.
Oh, offers. Okay.
That's the Aussie accent getting in the way.
No. Supercharged offers. Got it. Supercharged offers. I'm glad you said that. See, that's why I like to do it a couple times. I thought you said office. It's your accent's lovely. As soon as I heard you speak, I was like, oh my God, I already love her. Okay, so you live in Australia. You've been investing in the US for 5 years. You are 46 and smoking hot. You guys invest in Florida. You do a lot of vacant lands. You also have a data business. Sometimes on your vacant lands, you work with rezoning, affordable housing, just all kinds of different things like that. You can do some seller financing, help people build, lots of fun things. And for our actionable tips, people, if they're going to search something, maybe check for Zillow or land.com or some different places and research some demographics. Is it a dead zone? Is there a lot of investor activity at that particular area? And if it's an active market, and if they find something, they could reach back to you. And you love Michael Jackson, you love Asian food, you love Italy. You don't want to jump in Nevada spiders or snakes, but you'll choose snakes if you have to. And you want us to go for a walk, just one walk this week for 30 minutes with a friend and not talk about business.
Perfect wrap up.
Is that a little bit about you?
Yep.
Well, you are super fun, I have to say. You're so pretty, and I appreciate you getting up so early. So last thing
thank you, Dwan. Same to you. I'm glad we finally got to connect. It's taken us a few opportunities or a few, reschedules, but so happy that I got to connect with you today.
I am so
You're amazing.
Happy too. It's like, I feel like you're like my soulmate. So we're gonna hook up in Italy. That's where we're gonna hook up.
Yeah.
And so the last thing is, I like our guests to give us just a parting word of wisdom, but actually just one word. So think of one word that you want to leave us with, and that's the word of the week.
Oh, that's a tough one.
It's tough to do it in one word.
I am going to go with focus.
Ooh, good word. Okay, focus is good. So we're going to focus. We're going to go for some walks. We're going to get out and about. And that sounds amazing. So I just want to thank you again for being a guest on my show. I super
Thank you, Dwan.
I'm glad we finally hooked up, because this was certainly worth waiting for.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me on, and for anybody listening, please feel free to reach out.
Yeah, so before we don't hang up, when I end the recordings, I want to talk to you just for a second. So folks, again, this is the most Dwanderful real estate podcast ever. You can find me at Dwanderful.com. And if you had fun on the show, I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. If you enjoyed talking to us, if you laughed, if you learned something, I want you to subscribe and to give a 5-star review and write something about how awesome we are. And you'll have a chance to have your review read. On the days I podcast by myself, I read some of the reviews. If you'd like to have your review read, you have to first leave one. So thank you again, my dear. I just appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
Guys, we'll be back next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. And remember that the truth is in the red letters. All right, everybody. Ciao.
Thank you for dropping by to the most wonderful real estate podcast ever, making real estate investment wonderful each and every time. And for more information on how to make your real estate dreams a reality, keep an eye on Dwanderful.com and be sure to become a member.